Right now it's got an old jacuzzi pool pump on there that's been discontinued. It's an ancient pump and it's a piece of crap. The first thing I note, this has 2-inch plumbing and about 125 square foot cartridge filter, pool with no screen. You know, even a 1-horse pump would work, but they wanted to go with a 2-horse pump, which is fine with the 2-inch plumbing. It's definitely on the larger side, but it's fine. So I'll show you the steps to install this pump. The first thing you want to do, mention this, is turn the breaker off. Always make sure the breaker's off so you don't have power going down there and don't have to worry with that. The next step is I'm going to take this pump out of here and assemble it. It's a WaterWay pump, excellent. I use a lot of WaterWay products. If you've seen my videos, you probably know that. The first thing you want to do with these pumps, they come with unions. It depends on what pump you have, but this one comes with nice unions and a stand. And the stand is really good because they give you adjustable stands, and that's one of the biggest pain in the butt when you're installing a pump, is trying to get the height matching from there to there. And so with the adjustable stands, it makes it easy. Otherwise you have to do plumbing tricks to, you know, adjust the height for the new pump. So I'm going to go ahead and put the stand on there and the unions. I got my stands and unions on and got the height lined up. And the next step I'm going to do is cut right here to get rid of this old union. And when you install a new pump, it's good to have a nice safe. Okay, the next step is to remove this old plate and the old wiring from this pump. And I'll spray some penetrating lube here because usually they're tough to get off when they're this old. And take that out and see where we're at. I got the cover off, and I noticed it's set up for 220. This is a 220 system. You can tell by the breaker or the down here. And they come out of the factory, the new pump's set for 220. So if you have a 115 system, there's a little knob or some wires you can reposition to make it adjustable for either 220 or 115. I got this off. The wires themselves are in a good condition. And what you want to do is, this is the capacitor, get a rag and cover it and discharge the capacitor just for safety. And you discharge the capacitor, you know, take a screwdriver and touch across those posts and cover it with a rag when you're doing it, just a safety precaution. And again, make sure the power's off, of course. So I'm going to disconnect these wires and discharge the capacitor and get this old pump out of here. Okay, I got the cover off the new motor, and here's the 3 wires you hook into it. Your red and blue, the 2 hot wires, and your green for ground. And it doesn't have to be red or blue. Sometimes it's white and red or whatever. But the green is always should be at least, always the ground. And you simply hook it up to L1, L2 for your hot and your green ground. Pretty easy. Okay, the 3 wires are connected. All I have to do now is put on this cover and plumb the return side of the pump, and it will be done. One thing I forgot to mention that I should point out for safety, make sure to always attach the ground wire for safety purposes. It attaches to the motor, so it's grounded. So make sure to do that. Okay, here's the old fitting I cut. And anytime you do this, make sure there's no glue, old glue around here. If there is, scrape it off with a knife. And usually when you're plumbing, I like to plumb up first and get the tops level and then set on the top piece at the end. Just makes things easier. So I checked all my clearances, everything's good, and I'm going to plumb straight up and then connect the top. Okay, again, plumb up first when you can, and then make sure the pipe that goes from here to here is level. And you can set a pipe over there, then use a level and get it level from here to here. That way, when you make the top piece, you can just simply set it into place and everything's level and lines up and looks good. So I got it level. I'm going to complete the top piece and set it on there, and it should be good to go. Alright, I got the top piece glued on. It's level, it looks good. The last thing I have to do is reinstall that ball valve for a waste port, and everything will be plumbed in and ready to go. Alright, the last thing you do is add water to the pump basket before you turn it on. I always do that with new pumps. And I checked over everything. All the seals are glued, everything's wired in, and it's ready to go. I've given it about 15 minutes for the glue to, set, and just to test it out. And I'll check for leaks, and then I'll turn it off and let the glue cure, 12 hours. But right now it's good to go, and I'll fire it up and check for leaks right now. And I already hear it priming up. Everything looks good. Like I said, I'll check for leaks, and this job's done. Hope you learned something.